Good morning, and thank you for being here. Please let me begin with gratitude. Thank you, Governor DeSantis, for boldly and relentlessly pursuing your vision for a state judiciary that respects the rule of law and the separation of powers. A judiciary that reflects and respects the values shared by Florida citizens, one that understands its place in the constellation of sovereign powers set out in the Florida Constitution. I wholeheartedly embrace your vision, Governor, and I am honored and humbled that you would entrust me with what likely is your capstone appointment to our state's High Court. And thank you for holding this event at my alma mater, Seminole High School. Go Warhawks. I graduated in 1989, the same year the Stranger Things kids did, as a matter of fact, and the same year that Taylor Swift was born. I gave a valedictorian speech and crossed the stage on a football field not far away from this room about 37 years ago. Never did I expect that I would be back here in this building with the governor of the state of Florida doing this. Seminole is where I grew up, and I'm thrilled to be living here again. It was this school that inspired me to pursue a life in the law. Governor, your announcing this appointment here makes this all that much more meaningful. Indeed, this appointment has deep meaning for me for two other reasons. One that the governor just mentioned. First, I'm faced with the awesome responsibility of filling the seat vacated by Charles Kennedy, a legal giant, a warrior for the cause, and a true public servant. I hope that I'm worthy to the task. Second, I get to serve as the justice from the Tampa Bay area, my home, and I'm proud of that as well. Next, thank you to my parents, Jack and Laura, who are here today. My dad just celebrated his 80th birthday, and my mom is just a couple years behind him. In addition to the love, nourishment, and support that they provided me over the years, they gave me something just as valuable. And I direct this also to the students in the back. Room for me to be who I was and am. I rarely did things the way everyone else did them. Even as a kid, I was constantly challenging the why behind accepted practices and seemingly settled assumptions. I know now, as a parent, that this could prove exhausting for a parent. Yet my mom and dad gave me the space and patience I needed to ponder and figure things out in my own way, ugly and chaotic as it may have seemed to them. While I never can fully repay you, Mom and Dad, now that I am home, I hope I can begin by returning to you the care and support you have given to me my entire life. I want to take a moment and acknowledge my grandparents, all deceased. By the way, this is another public speech I've given where I break up, so I have a pattern. I want to acknowledge my grandparents, all deceased, Sadie and Adolph Silver, and William and Adeline Tanenhaum. I was blessed to spend many childhood years around all four of my grandparents. Memories of them continue to be a blessing to me. Thank you to my wife, Whitney, who could not be here because of other obligations. She has supported me from behind the scenes over the course of 22 years of marriage tomorrow. Her preference favors a more private life, I know this, yet because she recognizes how important this work is and understands my passion for it, she consistently has put her preferences aside and her career on hold to care for our 3 children so I could pursue my dreams. Whitney, I love you, and early happy anniversary. I'm also grateful for the 3 intelligent and highly independent children we have raised together. I have one at New College of Florida, one at UCF, and a freshman in high school. They have brought us challenges, of course, as all children do, but also great love and joy. Parenting children is an unparalleled blessing. I am so proud of each of them for who they are and what they continue to accomplish. Next, let me acknowledge the fact that I did not make the journey to this point alone. I am humbled by the amount of time and effort spent on my behalf by all those friends, colleagues, and even just acquaintances, too many to name here, who so believed in me that they would expend such effort praying for me, advocating vigorously on my behalf, and providing wisdom and good counsel to me through the process. Knowledge of your support strengthens me. I will not let you down. Thank you to the members of the Supreme Court Judicial Nominating Commission who devoted countless hours during the Christmas season to complete the process and provide the governor 6 highly qualified nominees. Thank you also to all those references of mine and the others who took time out of their busy days during the holidays to promptly answer requests for information for the candidates. Now let me say a few words about my judicial philosophy and my vision for the court. As an originalist, I subscribe to the fixation thesis and the constraint principle. The meaning of a text is fixed at the time of its ratification or enactment, and that original meaning does not change over time. Moreover, the acknowledgement of a fixed-in-time meaning serves as a constraint on how a judge can faithfully interpret the text. I share Justice Clarence Thomas's view, echoing Federalist 78's observation that you just heard from the governor, that the judiciary exercises neither force nor will, only judgment. That our goal as judges is always to find the correct original meaning of the law. To instead follow and replicate erroneous interpretations of the past is essentially to make the law, usurping in the process the legislature's and the people's authority. If we as judges profess to apply the law and not make it, then the imperative at all times is to recognize what the law is, the constitutional and statutory text, duly ratified or enacted, the text itself capturing both the meaning those words had for the public at the time it became law, plus their context, the society's shared history, customs, and traditions. Underlying this approach is the concept of judicial humility, not judicial supremacy. We should not be afraid to acknowledge that there is an objective truth extrinsic to us. That truth does not originate within us. And it requires an acknowledgement that what judges say about the law is not the law. I'll say that again for the students. What the judges say about the law is not the law. It is merely evidence of the law. We as judges do not declare the law for the state. We seek to find the objectively true meaning of the law that's been handed to us by either the legislature or the people in the Constitution. And that law then to be applied to a set of facts in a particular case. That is our prime imperative. The centuries of history, custom, and tradition come to us through the Anglo-American legal system as our inheritance. And we constantly must be studying all of that and the context in which the law we are applying was adopted. If in the process we discover through additional evidence that our predecessors have missed the mark, we are duty-bound to say so and seek to correct the deviation. If we come across a demonstrably erroneous interpretation of the text, as Justice Thomas says, we should not follow it. Quote, a demonstrably incorrect judicial decision is tantamount to making the law, which the court does not have the power to do. When faced with this incorrectness, I do not see the conservative judicial approach as requiring timidity or half measures in endeavoring to fix it. Sometimes the circumstances require boldness to restore our jurisprudence to its historical roots. Choosing not to do this is not judicial restraint. Judicial restraint describes how the court should approach the work of the other two branches, with respect for separation of powers and for the limited scope of the judicial power, basically to conclusively adjudicate one dispute at a time by ascertaining and correctly applying the originally fixed meaning of the law. Restraint does not and should not describe the court's approach to correcting demonstrably erroneous lines of decision that only it has the power to correct. In the end, my vision for the court is the same as the governor's, something also echoed by Chief Justice Muniz when he was first appointed, that this court, this Supreme Court, can and should be a national leader in both originalist jurisprudence and judicial administration. I look forward to joining my soon-to-be colleagues in this continued pursuit of excellence. I've already described how we can lead on the jurisprudential side. On the administrative side, as the governor just mentioned, I come to this new position willing to look at issues from a fresh perspective and unafraid to challenge accepted, but perhaps wrong or inefficient practices. The court should continue to exercise its constitutional authority to look at the different administrative components that the court supervises and make any necessary changes to ensure those components are efficiently pursuing the court's established values and vision. Steps already have been taken on this front by my soon-to-be colleagues, and I look forward to joining them in the ongoing endeavor. Before I conclude, I once again want to address the students in the back. I know this is a lot to take in a morning at high school, and I've been where you are sitting a long, long time ago. And let me just tell you, I could not have predicted when I was in 1989 that I'd be sitting here right now or standing here right now doing this. I could not have predicted my path in advance. It's taken lots of turns. I've done many things. I'm very fortunate to have been able to do those and get the experience. But I could not have plotted it out, and I didn't in high school. And my message to you is don't feel like you have to plan out your future in detail. Here's my advice to you instead. Because you cannot know the journey God has planned out for you, don't try. Instead, find your passion and pursue it with abandon. Work hard and always do what is good and right. Do this, and you will find yourself exactly where you were meant to be. So let me conclude by again thanking the governor for coming down here to Seminole in Pinellas County, Florida, and for putting his trust in me. I pledge to stay true to the vigorous, mission-based jurisprudential approach I have taken for the past 6 years as a District Court of Appeal judge. And I pledge to work tirelessly to pour everything I have into promoting the rule of law, fostering the judiciary's respect for the separation of powers, preserving our current Constitution, and seeing to it, alongside my soon-to-be colleagues, that Florida's judiciary becomes a national model for excellence. Thank you.